everyone to another episode of NAIJATOAMERICA. Before I get started, if this is your first video that you're watching, this is part 2 of a series, so go watch part 1 first. We'll link it somewhere in this box. Go watch part 1 and like, share, and subscribe on that. And talking about subscribing, if your subscribe button is still red, click it. Thank you. And
turn on your notifications, I think.
Yeah, turn on your notifications. Thank you. See, you're an expert
That's a smart one.
You're an expert at it. She has been watching too many YouTube videos. That's right. But before we get started, I'll just have everyone go through, do a quick recap of what we talked about in the first session. So in the first session, we talked about before coming to America, and these lovely guests on here, they shared their story with us. We talked about the timeline that they used to come to America. Did they use agents? And on and on. Just go and watch the video. I cannot give you an entire recap. Go and watch it. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about life here, now that you're in America.
America.
You have made it, you have crossed the entire Atlantic Ocean. You're here.
14 hours. Hey.
14. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That is not too bad. So what has your experience been so far? I'm going to start with Olamide.
When you mean experience, what type of experience are you talking
So
about?
like, what's your highlight? Give me one high points and low points. One low point.
Okay, high point. One, I got into a very, very good course with a very good school, and I liked it. You know, it was. I liked the experience because it was very practical. It was a real.
You're still in it now, so is it practical still?
Yeah, it's very practical because it was a real change from what I had in Nigeria. Nigeria was very theoretical, but in the US you have to practice. So you're learning and you're applying what you're learning, and it's really fun for me, you know, to see myself doing what I'm gonna do real world out there already in school. So that's a high point, and I like it. Low point, credit cards and a lot of bills. That's a low point. Well, it's very easy in the US to get credit. It's very easy to get money. You can walk up to any bank, you can walk up to any financial institution and tell them, okay, I need a loan, 6 months, 1 year. But you have to be very financially disciplined. If not, you're going to put yourself in a lot of trouble. So you could get like 4 or 5 credit cards, and when it comes time to pay it, you're seeing that, you know, almost a quarter of your paycheck is gone paying credit cards.
Are you speaking from experience?
I'm speaking from experience.
Still online touching.
And that was a low point. So at some point, it was very easy spending money, you know, get money and fling it around, hey, buy shoe, buy clothes, buy this thing and everything. You're looking good and sharp and nice, but your account is crying to the bank. So yeah, you have to be financially disciplined. You're considered an adult as from 18 in the US. No uncles, no brothers, no family, nobody to support you. You have to learn how to support yourself, how to plan your time wisely, and you know, you have to learn how to be self-sufficient.
Okay. It's a good one.
Anybody else?
Ronke.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll chip in here.
James. Yes, thank you.
Okay, basically, I actually got what I wanted. I've always wanted to.
Is this your high points?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually got what I wanted because I've always wanted to study where I can have hands-on learning and do whatever I'm being taught in class, practice, like have a life experience, which is what I'm actually experiencing at the moment. That's it for me. For me, that's like actually that's a jackpot. Let me use that word. Yes, and low point would be there are a lot of bills to pay.
So both of you are sharing the same story.
But basically, I think for me, what actually worked for me is planning. I know what I want, I know my wants, and I know my needs, so I get to differentiate what I don't want. Yeah. And that has helped me so far.
Okay.
For me, because there is really nothing per se for me because having a background back in the UK, so it was not much of a difference. I mean, white and Europeans and all of that. So, but when I went to the UK, that was like the shock, the code. I mean. Yeah. But when I got here, I was just like, okay, fine, here we are again. Let's blend in. Let's do this. Let's do this. So yeah.
So did you guys face like any culture shock when you got here?
Culture shock.
Like what was one thing that jumped out at you?
One thing that really jumped out for me was the way things are done. You know, Nigeria tends to adopt the UK style of doing things, measurements, and the UK way of doing things actually. But in the US, everything is different. They have their own standards, they have their own measurements, and they have their own culture. Like in Nigeria, you tend to respect people older than you by calling them uncle, auntie, sir, or madam, and the likes. But in the US, I mean, US promotes freedom of expression. You have to be bold. You have to be assertive. You know, you have to know how to state what you want, and you talk to people. I mean, you talk to people with, you know, your expectations. You don't try to be shy, and you talk to people on a first name basis. You can call your vice chancellor or the president of your university by her first name, and she won't bat an eye. You know, she will feel absolutely normal. You understand? And that was something that really came to me as a culture shock.
Yeah, for me, it was actually the language and speaking pattern.
The accent.
Exactly, the accent. That's the right word. You know, we sound like the UK, the Caucasians, and at some point when you're talking to a Caucasian, he or she understands that. In fact, he or she understands what you're saying.
Caucasians in the UK.
No. Even while some of them here, you understand.
Oh, yeah.
They get to understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When you're talking to a Native American, keep hearing. Pardon me, could you
What do you
please
mean
say that
by
again?
native versus?
Okay.
Or African American.
I would say an American. Let me not say origin. No.
So you talk about the European versus like Americans?
Yeah, let me use that word.
Okay.
Yeah, so and at some point, could you say that again? And it actually took me a while.
The water versus water.
Exactly. So it actually took me a while to blend into that language, you understand? And if you try to keep it very simple, you just have to keep repeating and repeating. But I think with time, I got used to it and I had to blend in. Yeah, again, the weather. Well, I at some point I never actually seen cold. That was on my way to traveling to India in 2015. Somewhere around Addis Ababa. It was pretty cold because I flew with Ethiopian Airlines. But coming down here, this was another phase of my life. I had to, in fact, at some point when I used to be in my former school, I usually bathe. Each time I go out and come back in the house, I have to live in the shower for, I'm being very realistic now. To 30 minutes, I have to stay in the shower to warm up. And my heater in my room
was constantly on.
I am being very honest, but I don't like it for any reason. So, but somehow, coming down to this place, to my current school, I kind of blended a little bit, and although this place is colder, but I kind of blended, and it's been okay because I had to just live life that way.
Okay, so while you guys were talking, something came up. So for me, being in the UK versus being in America is like really huge. One, the way they show their pleasantries or exchange of pleasantries. In the UK, meanwhile, they give hugs to show, yeah, they give hugs, but here, and then they peck or whatever, but here it's just an handshake. So the first time,
yeah, very formal, right?
Yeah, so the first time when someone, I wanted to give the person a hug and the person stretched out their hand.
It's to respect personal space.
Yeah, so one of the ones and the other, okay,
Absolutely,
I'm sorry.
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's one part of it. And then the other part is the size of the United States.
Everything
this
is
country is big here.
Really?
It's really big.
Yeah,
it's really big.
Yeah.
Because back in the UK, I could walk from my house to this city center. That's what the market is called. But here, I need to use the bus. Anything, I need to get a taxi.
And
another thing, but it was not necessary. You get. And then the taxi in the UK, you can just call a cab, black cab, and they will come to your to wherever you are. There was no need for me to download Uber or use Lyft or any of those transportation means. But here, it's needed. You can't stop. And another thing, even in the UK, you can actually stop a cab man if there's no one, if there's no passenger.
I guess
but here
it's
you
also
can't do
slightly
that.
different because we're in a smaller location. So if you went to like the city, like New
York,
you can probably
like
do
New
that.
York,
Or
yeah,
like
Chicago,
probably
yeah, it's
do
gonna
that.
be
Okay, so I guess
We're a village.
But really, it's really big.
For you.
Yeah, it's really big.
So how you guys funding your education? Is anybody using like scholarships, assistantships? What's your primary source of funding?
Okay, basically, at the moment, it's scholarship.
When you first came, did you get scholarships or you funded it?
No, I funded myself for
Okay.
my first 2 semesters.
First 2 semesters?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I actually got a scholarship in my 3rd semester, and so far so good.
And scholarship covers like your tuition, living
Covers-
expenses, everything.
Basically, your tuition. After that, just a few bills to pay, and you still get some stipends every month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that gets to take care of your basic needs, and should be fine.
Okay. Okay.
Alright, so for me, thanks to my parents, so they support me.
So
I
you
do.
have funding from home.
Yes, I have funding from home. However, I have scholarship as well with the university.
So
So
when you first started, did you get funding initially, or did you have to pay for like one semester out of pocket and then get funding?
I had to pay for one semester out of my pocket.
And then you got scholarship.
Yeah, then I got scholarship
Okay.
the next one.
So I think our cases are kind of similar because me too, I got a scholarship, but that was I think my third semester
Oh wow.
out of 4. So I paid for 2 semesters. But in my case was kind of different
Yeah, your case is different.
because I have friends who came in and got scholarship immediately. I have friends who came in and got graduate assistantships immediately. So me, I got a job on campus when I came in, but unfortunately, it didn't have any payment for my tuition or whatever, but it had payment for me to sustain myself. And so that was what I did for 2 years, and my parents had to bear the brunt of the
First-
funds
Okay.
for the first 2 years. Then I got a scholarship.
So it sounds like for most of you, like initially you have to pay at least maybe a semester or
A
2
semester,
semesters
exactly,
to
yeah.
get scholarship.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be that,
That way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you put in your applications early,
Early,
and you
yes,
submit,
and
and
you
you meet
plan
all the
well.
criteria.
Criteria.
So we give it to you.
So there's a chance of you
Yeah.
getting funding from the beginning.
Yes, I mean I have a couple of friends that got.
So it sounds like you need to do your research.
Yeah, that's
And
another
apply
thing.
early.
Yes, actually for me, I applied for the scholarship my first semester. That's why I transitioned into my current school, but it was kind of declined because there were a few.
You didn't meet all the criteria.
Exactly, I had more prerequisites to complete, so I had to wait for the next cycle.
Okay. And I think that's a good segue to our next topic. You guys are already touching on it. So what advice would you give to incoming prospective international students?
Advice I'll give to prospective international students is funding. Funding is everything.
This sounds like an announcement you would make on Nigerian
Funding
TV
is
announcement.
everything.
Eh, but we know, so how?
Okay.
When I came to the US, I came prepared because I came prepared for one semester. I have to be frank and
Financially.
sincere.
Okay.
Financially for one semester,
Semester,
hoping that the next semester
Get
I will get a scholarship.
Fortunately,
But I don't know whether it was my village people or I don't know. The thing didn't work out the second semester, and I had to stretch my parents thin to get money for my second semester. And that would have been different if I had,
planned and saved.
planned properly, saved properly, financially prepared at least for 1 year. That would have given me a good cushion, But, as God will have it, I survived and
That's good.
I got a scholarship and here I am. But funding is very important. Go for funding.
I think anybody will go for funding.
Go for funding. Don't go for name.
For name.
They say this school is good. It's well recommended. See, when they give you your
Find a
bills.
balance.
But I think you touched on, and this is shameless plug, we did a video on this to prep for when you're coming to the US, and our first point is to save a lot of
Yes,
money
yes,
because
yes,
you
yes.
never know what's going to come up. So
Anything
you
can
mentioned
happen.
that
Anything can
you
happen.
thought you would get funding your second semester, but it did not happen.
Yeah.
So save a lot of money, man. Anything, plans can just
Yeah.
change. You never know what's going to happen.
But I can also, one thing I would also advise would be, make sure you should ensure you satisfy all the prerequisites. Should there be any course you need to complete, if you can, try to do it online prior to your admission.
Yeah, that's a
And
very
take in
good
another
one.
school, then transfer
Exactly.
it to that school, because
Exactly.
at some point, because I noticed I had a lot of prerequisites and I had to take an online rush course.
Your first school or second school?
And I did it in my first school
First school,
before I transferred to my second school, so that I could, because I was hoping to possibly get a scholarship the semester once I get here. Although it wasn't
You worked out that
successful,
way.
so I had to still push through the support I had, my family, friends, and my parents, and I finally worked out in my second semester. So what I'm going to say is, make sure you satisfy all your requirements for any funding, because most of them, they have a lot of conditions satisfied.
Absolutely.
Ask all the necessary questions you need to ask. No matter how silly it sounds, keep asking. It is better you have all the information and know how to make your plans to avert issues, stories that touch the heart.
One thing I would say for me is to do your research on the university you're actually going to go. As God would have it, the university that I chose had this opportunity, but at the back of my mind, I didn't even know. I didn't think about it. So my parents were going to send me to university to do my master's. You get, but it was when I got here and I look at the bills, I was like, oh, that's kind of too much. But thank God they had this, and I didn't even do any research on the university. That just to see the opportunities that they afford for international students, because the cost is really high. Trust me, guys, it's really high. But just do your research on the university to see if they have any funding for international students, any scholarships, and all of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the final question I would ask is, if there's anything you could do differently in your journey, is there anything that you would change?
Basically, I would just shoot for one thing I know I believe in, put in everything, make my necessary research, ask all the questions, plan ahead, like take my time, take my time. Yes, I'm going to say that, take my time, and that actually affected any plans I want to make. Henceforth, I usually take my time to plan ahead, so I don't, because if you really have to be successful while in school here, you need to plan from your finances to your time.
Exactly. I think it's just living here in general.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Because I never used to manage my time so efficiently until getting to this place.
In Nigeria,
I used to be a jack of all trades, and I do a lot of things at home. I just want to be everywhere because I like being busy.
Yeah.
But getting down to this place, you have to plan your time, otherwise the time will plan you.
That's true. That's very true.
That's such a Nigerian thing to say.
It rhymes, filling the flow.
How about you, Ronke? What would you do differently if there's anything that you could change in your journey?
For me, there's really nothing. I won't change anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't change anything. I'm really grateful to God. I'm here, I have friends. So yeah.
You like what you're studying?
Yeah, I do.
Everything is good. Alright, that's good.
But you mentioned something about research earlier though, so would you have done some more research?
I better wouldn't have, because not necessarily lazy, but well, yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, so probably research, but
okay,
I'm glad.
Well, for me, what would I have done differently? Maybe I would have begun to certify in the area I liked more, because I was changing fields. So I began to get some more experience, you know, maybe online learning, volunteer experience. It was not until maybe a year into my course that I began to decide that, wow, no, I need something extra. This course is not just going to be enough. And that's when I started, you know, preparing myself.
The course here?
Yes, yes. So once you come, be very focused, know what you want. There are a lot of fields to specialize in, trust me, and people want specialists. They don't want generalists.
Exactly.
So just know what you want, go for it, start reading in that line, start studying in that line, and you'll be good.
Sky's your limit.
This is your final semester, right?
No, second to last.
Second.
So you graduate
in
December.
You graduate in December.
Okay.
Fall. And when are you graduating, Ronke?
Next year.
Next fall?
Yes. No.
Next spring?
Yes.
That's
Summer.
next May.
May 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That would be for 2020.
I don't know.
I'll be alright.
That's what you get when you don't take your time. Just
no, that's not it. No, I knew what I wanted.
Was it your prereq?
No.
Was it your
It was actually my prereq.
Yeah, you talked about this earlier, right?
Because it took me about a year to finish my prereq.
Yeah.
But at least you like what you're studying. You're happy in your journey.
That's why I can take my time. And
yeah, fun. So money is not the problem.
Exactly. So to speak.
Money is not the problem. That's good.
Well, yeah.
Before we go, actually, what was your experience? Did you like enjoying being on the panel? How
Would you like to
describe
come back?
your experience on our show? Yeah.
Somebody actually said something, said, if you've been helped to the top, it's your responsibility to send the ladder back down, for someone else. So I feel this is my own way of helping out people out there who are not yet here, but who have the dream of coming here to come and study. So that's just my 2 cents.
That's so deep.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and I guess that's the dream of NAIJATOAMERICA.
Yeah.
So,
We can like, I feel like a lot of us, we've all been through, we all have our different stories, we all have our different experiences, and I feel like I'm not really being impactful if I can't share. Like, of what use is it if I've made a mistake and I've learned from it and I can't tell somebody else so they don't make that mistake. So I guess that's kind of the idea of, doing all this, recording our videos, bringing people on, is to share like our experiences, our stories with you, our lessons.
so we can all come here
and we can all be successful, help each other up, help each other, go further. We go further together than when we are in a bed.
Exactly.
It's okay, we understand. How about you guys?
I just have one word for anyone out there. If just like the three of us, we've shared our stories and it's all different. We all have different stories.
Exactly.
My story is different from his, So if someone tells you something, oh, this was the way I did mine, don't
listen to that.
Listen, but
Don't say
follow
something
it
exactly as the final thing. That, oh, this person said
like this,
he
it has to
applied
be like
once,
this.
he got it. So what's wrong with me? No, take your time, pray about it. Just have faith in God, believe in God,
Have faith in God.
trust in God to help you to just cause you to
And
succeed.
talk to people,
And
ask people.
talk to bosses.
Don't
Ask a
rely
lot of
on
questions.
What's
Yeah.
read on the internet alone, because sometimes what you see on the internet, take it as truth, but sometimes you get another perspective from when you talk to people
Exactly.
as well. So.
Exactly. Yeah, like I say, research is the key. Research as much as you can. Seek for knowledge, seek for information, and once you have information, you can access whatever
Run
you
with
want.
it.
So that's
Right.
2 cents.
Thank you guys for
Thank
having
you.
us on your
Thank you
show.
for coming.
Thank you so much.
That was nice.
Thank you for watching. If you're still here,
Thank you so
hopefully
much.
you watched both parts. Thank you so much for watching. Leave us feedback in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the roundtable discussion. Like we said, we plan to have more of these in the future with different themes. So if there's anything you would like us to cover, please let us know. And remember, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and please share this with your friends, family, loved ones, anyone you know who will need this. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.